I want to start today by taking you to a very specific moment. It's seen, I think almost everyone listening has experienced, probably within the last week.
Okay.
It's 11 p.m. You've finally turned your phone over, placed it face down on the nightstand. The room is dark, it's perfectly quiet.
But inside your head.
Inside your head, it is loud. I mean, absolutely deafening.
Oh, I know that noise well. It's the replay tape.
Right. And here's the kicker. And the source material we're diving into today makes a big point of this. There hasn't been a catastrophe today. No one attacked you, no major tragedy.
But you're exhausted.
You are exhausted, not just, physical tiredness, but this deep, bone-weary feeling that comes from overthinking. It's the fatigue of constantly reacting to the world all day long.
And in that silence, a question floats up.
It does, and it sounds almost naive at first, but when you really sit with it, it's terrifyingly deep.
If everything outside continues like this, is there a place inside me that won't be dragged away?
That is the core question. And that brings us to our topic for this deep dive. We are looking at a concept from Stoic philosophy, specifically reimagined in our source material as the internal citadel.
Or, as it's phrased in the original text we're analyzing, Tantri Noitam.
The internal citadel. I mean, it sounds epic, like Game of Thrones meets self-help.
It does sound a bit imposing, but the mission of this deep dive is actually quite grounded. We aren't trying to turn you into a monk living in a cave.
Or someone who just checks out of society.
Exactly. We're exploring why modern life seems specifically designed to erode our inner boundaries.
Yeah.
And then how to rebuild them. It's about how to stand in the world without being crushed by it.
I want to jump right into that, because when I hear citadel or fortress, I immediately think of stone walls. I think of shutting down.
Right.
Is the goal here to become this emotionless robot where nothing can hurt you? Because I feel like I see that version of stoicism online a lot, just be a rock.
That is the biggest myth we need to bust right out of the gate.
Oh.
And the source is very, very emphatic about this. The internal citadel is not a panic room. It is not a place where you don't feel pain or fear or boredom.
Oh, you still feel it all.
A Stoic still worries. They still get annoyed. They still feel the sting of an insult. If you pinch them, they bruise.
So the walls don't stop the feeling.
No, you feel the punch. But the citadel is the architecture that ensures those emotions don't give the orders. It's the difference between feeling pain and letting pain grab the steering wheel of your life. It is about order, not numbness.
I really like that distinction. It's not about not feeling, it's about chain of command. But this leads to the obvious question, why is this so hard? If this is a better way to live, why don't we just naturally have this fortress? Why do we feel like open wounds half the time?
Well, we have to look at the biology first. The source makes a somewhat uncomfortable point. Humans aren't born with these citadels. Evolution didn't prioritize your peace of mind.
It prioritized survival.
Right. The brain is looking for the tiger in the bushes, not looking for inner peace. Your brain prioritizes speed over accuracy. This is its default mode.
Okay.
Someone looks at you weirdly, or you hear a vague criticism or get a passive-aggressive email. Your brain instantly asks, is this dangerous? Am I under threat? It doesn't pause to analyze the nuance.
It shoots first and asks questions later.
Pretty much. And that leads to what the text refers to as sensory confusion.
Sensory confusion.
Right. This is a critical concept to grasp if you want to build this citadel. We confuse feeling with fact. We think, I feel insulted, therefore I have been insulted.
Or I feel unsafe, therefore I am in danger.
But those aren't the same things.
Just because I feel like everyone is staring at me doesn't mean they actually are.
Rarely are they the same. But because the brain rushes the process, we treat them as identical. The Stoic goal, the citadel, is to build a process, a literal gap in time, so the brain doesn't just hand the keys over to these biological impulses.
Because if you don't have that process, you're just living your whole life being dragged around by your amygdala.
You are. So we're fighting our own biology. That's a tough start.
And then we step out the door and we're fighting the culture too. The source talks about this invisible pressure.
That's the second layer. We live in this massive network of expectations. Society doesn't just tell us what to do. It implicitly tells us how to feel.
It's the read the room phenomenon on a global scale.
Totally.
Like, you should be sad about this news story, or you should be angry about that tweet.
You should be excited about this new product. Precisely. And if you don't match the collective emotion, you feel this shame, this fear of not belonging. So without a citadel, you end up just mimicking the emotions of everyone else.
You become a mirror.
A mirror, reflecting the world, rather than a person standing in it.
This brings up something the source mentioned that really struck me as a hard truth. It called it the responsibility pill. And I'll be honest, this part felt a bit sharp. It felt like a call out.
It is sharp. This is the part where people might want to tune out, but please, stick with us.
Right.
The hard truth is this. Building a citadel requires taking total responsibility for your internal state. If you have no citadel, no boundaries, you get to play the victim.
It's easy. You can say, my boss made me angry.
The news is stressing me out.
It's not my fault, it's the world. The world is too loud.
Exactly. And there's a lot of comfort in that perspective. But if you build a citadel, you lose that excuse. You have to start asking, is this turmoil happening inside me, or is it just being triggered from the outside?
You have to own your reaction.
You have to own it. It's heavy, but the source argues it's the only path to autonomy.
It cuts both ways. You get freedom, but you lose the ability to blame the traffic for your road rage.
That's the trade. You trade victimhood for agency.
Okay, so we know the battlefield. We're fighting biology and social pressure, but the expert analysis in our source goes deeper into what they call underground mechanisms. These aren't just vague pressures. These are specific forces designed to wear us down.
Yes, and these are fascinating because they're so normalized we rarely notice them as threats. The first one is the culture of fast reaction.
Oh, I feel this deep in my soul. If I don't reply to a text in 5 minutes, people think I'm dead or rude.
Or that you don't care.
Yeah.
Society rewards speed, immediate responses, hot takes, instant clapping back. But think about the citadel metaphor. A fortress needs a gatekeeper.
And if you're rushing to open the gate every time someone knocks,
You have no security. Pausing to observe, which is the foundation of the citadel, is seen by the modern world as weak or indifferent or slow.
so the world is constantly rushing you, which prevents you from ever laying the pieces of your fortress.
Correct. Speed is the enemy of the citadel. Then you have standardized emotions.
This goes back to that pressure to fit in, right?
It's a bit deeper than just fitting in. It's the pressure to feel the correct emotion on cue. Tragedy happens. You must perform sadness.
Success happens, you must perform joy.
Right. It erases your individual internal rhythm. You stop asking, how do I feel? And start asking, how am I supposed to feel? You lose touch with your own signal.
That is insidious. It reminds me of the next mechanism, which is my favorite phrase from the text. Industrialized comparison.
It's a powerful image, isn't it? Industrialized.
Yeah.
Think about it. 100 years ago, you compared yourself to your neighbor, maybe your cousin. The sample size was small. Today, you open your phone and you are comparing yourself to thousands of curated images before you've even brushed your teeth.
It's a supply chain of insecurity, just delivered straight to your brain.
It is a continuous industrial scale flow of you are not enough. It makes it impossible to find a standing place unless you actively opt out of that measuring stick.
And that's linked to the next idea, visibility versus value.
The idea that if it isn't seen, it didn't happen.
Exactly. The false belief that what is seen is important and what is silent is negligible. If you do good work but no one sees it, doesn't matter.
The citadel says yes, the world says no. And that constant need to be seen, to feel valuable, erodes your inner walls because you're constantly turning yourself inside out for an audience.
You're living for the exterior.
Completely.
Yeah.
And there was one more mechanism that really stood out because it feels counterintuitive. The fear of solitude.
This is critical.
Society often views being alone as isolation, as a failure. Look at him, he's all alone. But the Stoic views solitude as the necessary test.
The litmus test.
Yeah. If you cannot be alone with your own thoughts without panicking or reaching for a distraction, your citadel is made of paper.
If you can't sit in the room by yourself, you don't own the room.
Exactly. And most of us, if we are honest, cannot sit in that room.
So if we let these mechanisms run wild, the comparison, the speed, the fear of silence, what happens? What are the symptoms of a thin citadel?
Well, the source says it's not always a nervous breakdown. It's subtler.
Yeah, much subtler, and that's why it's so dangerous. It's what they call existential impact.
And one major symptom is empty busyness. You're doing a million things, you're very productive answering every email, but when the noise stops,
You have nowhere to stand. You feel this hollow wind blowing through you.
that 11 p.m. feeling again. Another symptom is anxiety without danger. You're in a constant state of defense, your cortisol is up, you're scanning for threats.
Even when you're just sitting safely on your couch watching Netflix.
Exactly. Your body thinks it's at war because your boundaries are down. Then there's the surface ego.
This is when you define yourself entirely by external feedback.
Totally. A compliment makes you feel like a god. A criticism makes you crumble into dust. You have no ballast. You are just a leaf blowing in the wind of other people's opinions.
The source also used the phrase, the open door policy, which usually sounds like a good thing, but here...
Not so much. In this context, it means anyone, a rude boss, a troll on social media, a grumpy relative, can walk right into the center of your being and flip the table.
You have no sentries.
You have no gate. You are completely exposed to the whims of others. You are effectively public property.
That is a terrifying image. Strangers walking into your living room and smashing things whenever they feel like it. So let's pivot. We know the problem. How do we build this thing?
Okay.
And let's clarify the structure, because we said it's not a bunker.
Right. The metaphor the source uses is not a wall that blocks everything, but a sentry.
A guard at the gate?
Yes. Imagine your mind has guards. They decide what gets in. They inspect every impression. Okay, this person insulted me. Does that need to come inside and hurt me?
No, that's their problem. It stays outside.
Exactly. It is selective openness. It's not closing off. It's vetting the guests.
I like that. And this requires distinguishing between flexibility and principles.
Being flexible is good, but if you have no core access, flexibility just means you're being dragged. The Citadel allows you to change your methods, but you do not change your values just to please the situation.
The source also made a really important distinction between endurance and resignation. It used the Vietnamese term cam chu to describe the wrong way.
This is a vital distinction. Resignation cam chuk is passive. It's fine, whatever, I'll just take it to keep the peace.
I'll just swallow my anger.
That's weakness. That's the walls crumbling. Stoic endurance is active. It is bearing what you cannot control while refusing to accept things that erode your dignity.
It's standing tall in the storm, not curling up in a ball.
Exactly.
Okay, so we have the blueprint. Now, let's get into the weeds. How do we lay the bricks? The source warns us these strategies are uncomfortable.
They are. If you want a quick fix, these aren't it. You have to be willing to be awkward.
Strategy number 1, delaying the reaction.
This is the first brick. You separate the event from the action. Something happens. You want to yell or cry or tweet. Stop.
Just stop.
Ask yourself, do I need to react right now? The answer is almost always no. That pause, even if it's just 10 seconds, is the space where your freedom lives.
It sounds so simple, but in the heat of the moment, it's agonizing. It feels like you're holding your breath.
It is physically painful. Your brain is screaming, do something. But sitting in that pause is how you train the sentry. You are teaching your brain that you are in charge, not the impulse.
You're reclaiming the steering wheel. Strategy 2, the control filter.
We hear this in Stoicism a lot, but applying it in real time is the key.
Yeah.
You have to ruthlessly apply this filter.
So traffic is bad. That's outside my control.
But your anger about the traffic.
Inside my control.
Right, the boss's tone of voice, not in my control. My interpretation of it, in my control. You have to filter every single input through this mesh. And if it's not in your control, you have to let it drop.
Strategy number 3 is one I struggle with personally, sitting with discomfort.
This goes against everything our culture teaches us. We are taught to fix bad feelings immediately. If you're sad, scroll TikTok. If you're anxious, eat something.
We numb the signal. We treat negative emotion like a glitch.
We do, but it's data. The Stoic approach is sit there, feel the sadness, feel the anxiety. Don't push it away, don't let it drive, just sit with it.
You have to prove to yourself that the feeling won't kill you.
It's like a cold plunge for your mind. It hurts at first, but you realize you can withstand the temperature.
Strategy number 4 is interesting. Stop explaining.
Oh, this is a power move. We have this desperate need to be understood. If someone misinterprets us, we write paragraphs explaining why we are actually good people.
And the source says just stop.
Stop. Reduce the need to explain yourself constantly. Accept being misunderstood.
That's terrifying, letting people be wrong about you.
If it's not your specific duty to explain, yes, let them be wrong. It builds massive internal confidence because you realize your value doesn't depend on their consensus.
You know who you are. That is enough.
Right. Strategy 5, unseen discipline. Doing the right thing when absolutely no one is watching.
Returning the shopping cart.
Yes. Or working hard on the slide deck even if the boss is on vacation. This isn't for the outcome, it's for you. It proves to yourself that your value doesn't require an audience.
And finally, strategy 6, self-talk.
But not just any self-talk. We aren't talking about empty affirmations like, you're a tiger, go get him.
And we aren't talking about that abusive inner critic that says, you're an idiot.
Right. So not a cheerleader and not a drill sergeant. More like a good coach.
Okay, you messed that up. Why? Let's fix it. Move on.
Exactly. No drama, just truth. The Citadel is built on truth.
So if we do all this, if we endure the discomfort, the silence, the being misunderstood, what is the payoff? The Source talks about a promised land.
It does.
But knowing Stoicism, I'm guessing this isn't about winning the lottery.
The Promised Land is interesting because, again, it's not what people expect. It isn't a state of perpetual bliss. It isn't a safety bubble where nothing bad happens.
It's not walking on clouds.
No. It is a state where the chaos of the world no longer has full power over you. It is internal freedom. And we need to redefine freedom here.
Okay.
Freedom isn't doing whatever you want. Freedom is not being dragged away by things you don't control.
I love that definition. Freedom is the ability to not be dragged.
Exactly. When you have a Citadel, a rude comment comes in, and instead of ruining your week, it just sits there, you look at it, you assess it, and you decide to discard it.
That is a superpower.
It is. It means you can walk through a chaotic world with a calm heart.
The Source also mentions maintenance, that this isn't a set it and forget it project.
No, the walls need checking every day. It's never finished. You will have days where the walls crumble, you'll snap at your spouse, you'll doom scroll.
You'll let an insult get under your skin.
And that's okay. You just rebuild. The Citadel is a practice, not a destination.
And there is this beautiful test mentioned at the end to check your progress. The quiet moment.
Yes. This is the ultimate litmus test. It brings us back to that moment we started with. Late at night, everyone is asleep. No one is watching.
And you ask yourself,
if no one was watching, would I still live this way? Would I still hold these values?
and if the answer is yes,
Then you are standing in your Citadel. You are self-contained. You are safe, not because the world is safe, it never will be, but because you are solid. You have a place to stand.
that is a powerful place to be. It turns that scary silence into strength.
It does. It's the only place to be if you want to stay sane in this loud world.
So to recap for everyone listening, the world is designed to rush you, compare you, and invade your mental space. Our biology helps the enemy. But we can build an internal citadel, not by hiding, but by delaying reaction, filtering what comes in, and being willing to sit with discomfort and be misunderstood.
Precisely. It's about building a structure that allows you to be in the world, fully engaged, but not owned by it.
I think that's a perfect place to leave it. But before we go, we have one final thought for you to carry into your day or into your quiet night.
Yes. As you go back to the noise, ask yourself this. When everything outside continues to be noisy as it always is, are you building a place inside yourself firm enough to stand still without having to hide?
Think about that. Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive. We'll see you next time.